Getting sacked, getting retrenched, call it what you will. The net effect is it can be one of the worst events of your lifetime. There's a growing trend, though, for companies to try and ease the transition from work to unemployment. It's making a big difference in those people whose lives are impacted. Let's get more on this with Hugh Davies, Managing Director of Macfarlane Lane. Warm welcome to the programme. Can we just understand this whole process? Because is this available for everyone, this idea of mentoring post-retrenchment?
Most companies, Carson, now provide outplacement for people who are retrenched, who have to leave involuntarily.
Just define that, yeah.
Yep. Outplacement is a package of services designed to help people capture another job. For senior people, it should involve coaching with a senior coach, an open-ended approach, and quite extensive mentoring and advice, particularly for those who have to reinvent themselves. And that's the case for investment bankers, partners in professional services firms and people like that. So helping them achieve that is a big part of outplacement.
When you say have to reinvent, it's almost to say, what, right, in that position, it must be a career transition. I mean, what about continuing on, albeit in another jurisdiction or whatever, going offshore to that end?
Those are possibilities, but in the current environment, Carson, it's very hard for an investment banker in Australia, for example, to walk out of one bank and into another in the same role. And these are very bright people, and the challenge is to help them understand their capabilities and to then become owners of businesses, consultants advising restructuring, directors on boards. There's a range of different choices and they're hard to capture.
And it must come down to the quality of the advice that you are actually getting at that moment in time. What distinguishes, you know, the good advice from the also-ran advice?
High quality outplacement, and that's a dreadful word, but high quality outplacement involves matching senior people with senior coaches, people with extensive commercial experience on their own. In our case, when we're working with partners coming out of law firms, we match them with ex-partners who are working with us. High quality also means providing an open-ended service, not an arbitrary time limit. High quality also means coaching and mentoring rather than just piping material down through an internet or providing people with a workbook.
Using that legal analogy, if you are an ex-partner, are you in the game by definition? Do you have the respect required for that person that's been retrenched to really listen and take on board what you're saying? Don't you start to lose touch, in other words, Hugh, rather quickly?
I don't agree with that. Not if you have reinvented yourself as someone who is a career development specialist, and that's what our people do. For the most part, partners actually prefer to work with people who understand their backgrounds and who have become skilled in helping people begin boutique law firms, capture jobs as general counsel, or win roles on board. So there's more to this than simply having the same background, but it helps.
How is business going for you generally? Because we are in the downturn, and of course people would argue be more receptive to the minute. But I mean, compare this with previous downturns. What's the psychology like amongst people who are coming through your door?
The downturn is producing more work for us, without question, but by and large, because we focus on senior people, the workload has increased a little bit, not substantially. Yep.
I'm interested that you are focusing on that senior part of the market, because would you not argue that to have actually got to that level, you've actually had to have had that self-belief to get you there in the first place, to break the proverbial glass ceiling in many respects? Are we needing to apply this mentoring sort of further down that food chain and believe that we need to build up that mid-tier workforce bracket?
I'm sure you're right. I think mentoring and advice and coaching is needed at all levels, but it's particularly needed where someone who has largely defined themselves around a field, a specialist field, then finds that opportunities in that field are narrow. So these people need a lot of help. And if you've been a partner in a large firm for many years, there's not a lot of experience been available to you in starting your own business, or perhaps buying a business or buying into a business. And it's providing mentoring around those sorts of choices that's absolutely critical.
Are you taking on former politicians?
I don't recall having worked with one, but yes, we'd give it a shot.
Hugh, never say never, from Macfarlane Lane, Managing Director. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great.
Good.
Okay, clock's ticking. We're coming online for a new trading day in just a minute. Or by all indications, looking positive. Sitting up, the SPI's 1.2%. Stay with us. We've got all the analysis in trading day next.